A good story has a beginning, middle, and end. That's what made Apple TV's Hijack a consumable and competently unhinged watch back in 2023. Back then, it was only a mini-series depicting Idris Elba as Sam Nelson, a negotiator trying to stop the hijacking of a plane. The seventh and presumably final episode ended in a satisfying spot, but apparently that was not enough. Hijack, which earned a 90% Rotten Tomatoes score in its first season, is one of the many examples of how a great limited series legacy can be tainted by an unwarranted continuation. In Hijack Season 2, Sam finds himself yet again in the middle of another hijacking, this time on a train in Germany. Like clockwork, Sam works to talk his and the passengers' way out of becoming a tragic headline. Clockwork should be taken literally. Aside from a big twist at the end of the Season 2 premiere, Hijack surrenders itself to the predictable, running almost the exact same route as the first season, except this time it's a painfully disjointed and thematically trifling ride.
Hijack Season 2 relies on the familiar structure of Season 1.
Created by George Kay and directed by Jim Field Smith, the first season of Hijack was a decently thrilling 8 hours of adrenaline. Season 2 is only reheating its leftovers, save the attempt to shake things up with the aforementioned, admittedly unexpected twist at the end of the premiere. However, one surprising turn of events doesn't justify an entire season of frustration, plot holes, tedious dialogue, and the story running in circles just as much as its hijacked train. Season 2's plot mainly doesn't work because the motivation for it takes place off-screen between the events of Seasons 1 and 2. Traditionally, pieces of a story are allowed off-screen when they don't matter or are purely excessive details, but not in the case of Hijack. Sam experiences tremendous devastation after the Season 1 finale that is left to the audience's imagination and the writing's exposition dumps. Such an event is so crucial that it makes one think they've misremembered how the first season ended, and this intrusive thought begins to spiral as Season 2 goes deeper into a rabbit hole. Characters from the past start popping up, only they're guaranteed to be forgotten relics if viewers watched Hijack over 2 years ago when it first premiered. As tense and entertaining as the first season was, it's also one of those shows that can instantly be erased from the mind to make room for shows that deserve a permanent residence. Remembering the supporting characters from Season 1 is a demanding ask. A lot of what gave Season 1 the upper hand in the plane disaster subgenre is now cheap tricks. Over the course of the series, more and more unsuspecting hijackers reveal themselves like Russian nesting dolls. In the control room, train dispatchers, law enforcement, and government agents try to control the situation from their position. Threats and demands are made, and the issue escalates, all leading to the revelation of who is behind the madness. It's all the same, except now it's on a train instead of a plane.
The cast of Hijack Season 2 take their roles in stride.
In Season 1, the subplots on the ground kept the tension high just as much as what's happening on the plane. The British government are under pressure from other countries threatening to shoot down the passenger plane to prevent another 9/11 from happening. It's a succulent recipe for a high-stakes situation caught between two impossible decisions. In Season 2, there isn't such a conflict that reaches the same magnitude, inside or outside the train. The control room has an impressive stack of cast members who elevate the mild dialogue. Lisa Vicari portrays Clara Berger, a train dispatcher that is Sam's direct line of contact. Vicari was excellent in Dark, and does exquisite work here as a woman who is way out of her depth, but starts to feel emotionally connected to the incident. Toby Jones and Christiane Paul also join as new characters in charge of stopping the train, though their roles are more ordinarily bland than anything else. Christine Adams returns as Marcia Smith Nelson, Sam's ex-wife. She's solid as a nomadic woman who can take care of herself when her life is at stake, but her cliché arc clutters the story most of all. She's reduced to nothing more than the victim serving to motivate the male protagonist's actions, dangerously making her a fridged woman. Max Beasley also reprises his role as D.I. Daniel O'Farrell, but his role somehow feels sorely disconnected from everything else, despite having a personal stake. What's actually happening on the train is the riveting heart of the series, but that's not saying much. Hijacked misses out on extracting diverse character types and examining how they'd clash in claustrophobic peril. One lost opportunity regards a teenager whose extreme anxiety of trains is never explored. Only a few select characters are given the chance to stand out, but they disappear as quickly as they become important to the story.
Hijack does not deserve Idris Elba's leading man talents.
Credit where credit is due. Elba is a charming lead who turns frightening on a dime when he taps into Sam's dark side. Elba plays Sam as if he's hiding a layer of evilness that he was inherently born with, but never forced to peel back until now. It's almost poetic how Sam is put into the same position as one particular hijacker from Season 1. But admittedly, the oddity of his change of character never subsides. It always feels like he's put in a story that he doesn't really belong in. Regardless, Elba is so charismatic that it's almost an overpowering force that can't be properly contained. One thing Hijack does improve on from Season 1 is giving Elba a consistent scene partner. Christian Nath stars as Otto, the train driver who is a nerve-wracking disaster. He's a good counterpart to Sam's strictly intelligent and observant persona. Together, they bounce off each other to come to sensible solutions and dig into the emotional depth of the plot. Other than that, there's not anything giving Hijack Season 2 momentum to thrive. When the mystery does begin to resolve itself, it's a convoluted string of names of characters who aren't interesting enough to remember. The passengers' lives are also constantly said to be at risk, but there comes a point in the season when they could just step off the train. Problems are always made when they don't need to exist in the first place. At least on a plane, nobody can just leave. If Apple TV wanted to keep Idris Elba on their payroll, they should have just given him another show worthy of his talents. Hijack Season 2 took over 2 years to develop, yet it seems carelessly strung together. Even the ending is almost identical to the Season 1 finale's last scene. It's disappointing that almost everything about Season 2 is lazy and lacking a soul. Now, Hijack won't just be a real-time terrorist plot that is a mesmerizing weekend binge. Season 2 has made it another entry on a list of miniseries that should have just stayed a miniseries. Hijack Season 2 premieres January 14th on Apple TV.